Gonna need you to clap.
I did my click. I did my mouth click. I did my clicksicle. Did you not?
Everyone knows you have to clap.
I did the click.
Okay, all right.
I can see the click.
Click, clap, clop, whatever.
I can see. I can wipe
you
my
can
own
see
ass.
it, but the editors are like, I want to clap. I don't know. You know how much of a wave file? He's like, there. Thank you. Now we're fucked.
Now we're fucked.
Now we got to start all over again. All right, everyone, take it back. Rewind it. No, we're in it now.
Oh, no,
Here
we're
we
in
go.
it now. Speaking of things that were fucked up.
Happy day. How are you?
Good. I am.
Oh, good.
It's funny because I'm in the middle of preparing for some. Let's say I got a fun little sub gig coming up this weekend where I'm filling in with some old friends and it's going to be fun and I get to travel a little bit and then I get to fly back at the ass crack of dawn and do another.
People call that touring.
A private party in Denver. Yeah, except the routing on this tour sucks. Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
Because I'm the one that's having
it's a fly in, fly out.
So I fly out Thursday. I'll get to have dinner with a couple friends, and then I play a show Friday. This band likes to come in the day before, which I understand, you know, especially with the state of air travel and shit like that. Since the coronavirus made its presence known, it's on the fives, coronavirus talk. So I'll be there for a couple of days, then fly out early Saturday morning. But we were discussing, you know, again. How many people this week did you have a conversation? This has nothing to do with the thing I'm doing about, but they have a new single coming out, and we'll talk about that later. But we were talking about like people releasing music on any day other than Friday. Should we put up the banner again and tell everybody why?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're releasing music. By the way, welcome everyone to 2ShotsMusicPod. Please subscribe to give us 5 stars on YouTube and 5 stars and leave hilarious apples and things and stuff. I don't know what we're going to say.
Strap in.
Anyway, get on Apple, hit all the stars, do all the things.
Leave a filthy
hit the
comment.
Subscribes. 2 Shots Music Pod is where you can find us. That's the number 2 Shots Music Pod, and the music's dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Very professional, you guys. Very professional.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
So yes, releasing music. If you're releasing music, why do you release on Friday? Global Release Music Day is Friday now in a streaming world.
Yes.
There is a very good reason for that.
Yes.
There are multiple reasons why you should release on Friday and why that actually means Thursday night at midnight Eastern.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what it actually means. So it should be loaded well before then. You should be doing, like, we got to go back 2 or 3 weeks beforehand to, like, get you set up correctly. But at the very least, you're looking to have the launch date Friday at midnight Eastern. And the reason why, and this is for U.S. artists, it's a little bit different if you're in the U.K. Shout out U.K., what's up? So there's a lot of reasons, but one of the main reasons why it changed is that all charting is done over the weekend, like the 3 days of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Chartmetric. And Chartmetric, if you're not on Chartmetric, then you're not actually releasing music. So you're not paying attention, and that's fine. You're just releasing to fan bases, which is fine. You could totally do that. If you have a great fan base that doesn't care and they want to hear a song on, let's say, a Wednesday or whatever for middle of the week blues or whatever, okay, and you're emailing it out and like, hey, check out our new song, that's fine. You're not going to get on any playlists of note. You're not going to get any editors of note. They're going to bump your songs up. You're not going to get any... I mean, I know it doesn't really matter now, but you're not going to do any radio numbers. You're not going to get on any of that stuff. But the big reason why we tell people to release on Friday, outside of Chartmetric, and if you're playing the game, and the game is you're releasing to an algorithm so that the algorithm shows it to the people who want to listen to that music. You're not releasing it to people. So when everyone's like, oh, I don't want to release it on Friday because all the big stars are out on Friday and you're going to get lost in it. No, you're not. No one cares about your music, especially the algorithm. So the only way the algorithm is going to care about your music is if you kind of walk down the little path the algorithm wants you to, and that is on Friday.
Yep.
And more so than that, it goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those chart metric numbers will start doing your popularity index on how many times people interacted with the song, whether they shared it with people, whether it got played somewhere else, whether the song got shared on social media. And this is Spotify and Apple and Amazon and Deezer and all that kind of crap. You can, if you're in chart metric, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And that then raises your P score and your popularity score. And then that score actually feeds into the algorithm of like, hey, look, grassroots people like this. Now, what I do in marketing is make sure that those grassroots numbers grow. I am your Scott's turf lawn. I will help you grow that lawn so that it looks like organic growth. It will be organic growth, but in today's world, you've got to scream for people to hear that there's a guy on top of a building wanting to jump. You know, and there's just so much attention. It's an attention economy. And so it doesn't matter whether you have the best song in the world. None of that matters. It matters when you release it, that the amount of people that play it past a certain point. And in this world, we're looking at about 130, 140, get you a much better score than, say, 30 seconds, which is still a play, still a stream.
Yeah.
And then we're looking for people that share it elsewhere, and that could be you and your team, but also other people. And then at the end of the week, that kind of number gets dumped into like a data set that goes to editors and playlist providers and whatever you want to call them, music influencers.
Yeah.
And that is what gets you like that sort of discovery push. So then people get in their email. Hey, there's a new song out. It's still new on Monday, Tuesday next week if it came out Friday.
Yeah.
If you released it on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week and that email comes out next Monday, you are not going to be on that email from Spotify or Apple. You're just not. You're just not going to be there. And so that's part of the reason. So another part of the reason is that you want to pile those numbers over a weekend because the way the algorithm works is that there's the highest amount of people are listening over the weekend. If you're playing the game while everyone's paying attention, you're going to be rewarded for that.
Yes.
So like when less people are listening to music, say on Tuesday or Wednesday, even if you show really good numbers, the algorithm's like, well, you did that though.
Yeah.
Like they'll know that you and your team did that. So that's one of the major reasons. The other major, I just named 4.
Yeah.
But here's another huge reason. People like me who are in the sync game and in the sort of recorded music game, trying to find music to make money.
Yeah.
Right? Let's, for lack of a better term, that's what we're doing here, right? We listen on Friday for new releases. And we look for songs that find their way to us. Like we have a way to look for them. So these are music supervisors and publishers and music licensing agents and people that are part of advertising agencies, people that run trailer houses, people that are doing music clearances for sports shows, people. Like I could run down the list of all the people that listen on Fridays.
Yeah.
And it is a major fucking reason why you want to be in the game on Friday is that like if it finds my algorithm, and it's not just my algorithm, we're searching specific terms. And if you're not tagged right and I don't find you in there, you're not playing the game right. You're just not there. And that's okay. That you're just releasing music for fun and that's
okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But nobody is going to reach out to you and there won't be a clamor. And I will tell you, there are a lot of people that are like me, this little group of people that listen on Fridays for this kind of music that we used to like kind of text back and forth and go, oh shit, did you see this song?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I have that marked. I put that in my file folder.
Nice.
Like, and that means I'm looking for your next 2 songs.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of how Lawrence worked in the last year and a half. is that they did it exactly right. And the people that make these kind of decisions, so much bigger than I am, people that like book the Today Show and shit like that. These are the kind of people that find this song and they see this song on a Friday and they're like, oh, not only is it a great song, they have a great team because it's tagged right. I can see a little bit of movement on Friday. That means they got a fan base. I see movement across different things on chart metrics. So I see that their fan base is wide and the demographics are pretty good. So depending on what you're trying to use that music for, whether it's ads or TV or movies or whatever, you can start building that case to the director or to, you know, the creative director. And you can build the case to them and be like, this song is hot. And they're making a go of it, and I'm telling you, they're going to be big in 3 months. And so, like, when people come to me and they're like, how the fuck did you know that, like, this band was going to blow up? I'm like, there are just mile markers that you can see along the way that it starts with the song, right? Like, the recording has to be great. But that's, like, just, that's
baseline.
It is just like that. It has to be great, done. Now we go into whether or not it's going to be usable.
Yeah.
And I know for young musicians that makes no fucking sense in the world. Well, why wouldn't you use a great song if it's just a great song? It's like, why would I waste my time with you if I know your band's going to break up in 6 months?
Yeah.
Why would I push your band over this band if I know you're not going to tour, but they are? Or I know you probably this is like your best album ever that you're ever going to do. But I see their previous catalog and the growth, and I know what's coming. And, you know, so it's all those things. So that's why another reason why Friday is really big. Now, there's some bands, you have no shot at this Friday money lottery. You're just putting out a song, and that's cool. That's all right. But, like, if you wonder why no one is reaching out, if you wonder why, how come we can't get any traction? How come this song... There is a good fucking reason with it. And like, you can hate the industry all you want. The way it's built is for a reason, and it's not for you. It's for the other people that want to help bring your music to the most amount of people possible. And, to be honest, make a buck off of it. Yeah, that's part of it. But, like, is it valuable? Is it valuable to the ears of the audience, to my promotion director? Is it valuable to this advertising agency? Will it be valuable to that brand? Is it valuable to Spotify because it will bring more listeners and keep them on the platform? There's a lot of ways to figure out whether it's valuable or not. But I'll tell you, releasing it on Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon and you have 4 views on YouTube, I know that's not valuable. Because you don't give a fuck to Google or to look at half of the articles I've written over the last 10 years. So, there you go.
Yeah. That's a fucking solid rant and concise and to the point. And
I hope, except it's not as easy as that, right? Like, I wish I could tell you it's as easy as just like, well, then I released it on Friday. Now, how come it's not great? Okay, you got to have all the other things in line and pre-promotion and all that. You know, you got to do all the things.
Yeah, the number of times I will look at somebody's, it's just their social media, and it's number one, it's all about their music, and then there's 4 likes on that. Half their links are broken, and the bios don't match. The old guitar player's over here, and the new singer is on this bio. Right? You're like, it's just nothing's coherent, you know. That's just like there's baseline for it. Anyway. You just like,
ooh, let me give you another key hint here. Yeah, for you people on your social media. If I see your band doesn't promote other music, that is a red flag.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. There should be a band you're playing with. There should be a band you have played with. There should be another song that you are excited about as a music lover that even matches your genre or something like that.
Yeah.
But, like, go look at Taylor Swift. She took 100-day... like rest off of Instagram, pop back on to promote Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with Taylor Swift sales. And like, I know that's a huge example, but there are bands that we've talked about on this. One of the reasons why we've chosen to promote them is because they have also promoted other music, because they're in music. They're not just in their game.
Yeah.
They're in the music game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we do every week here on this podcast is like promote everybody else's music.
Yeah, try to.
And sometimes shit we've worked on. But
such as this week.
It's but like we're working on music all the time and you rarely hear us talk about our music because we're doing the music thing.
Yeah. The music thing. Now that I don't want to prematurely stop you from any more tirades and ranting.
Okay.
If you would like to.
But you're gonna?
No, I'm not going to. I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna patiently go.
Should we talk about live?
Should we talk about live? Hey, so you and I got to see each other in person.
We did. We hugged, we kissed, we fucked a little bit.
Little light fingering. Yeah.
Edit that. Mark that. Edit it. Somebody's watching White Lotus a little too much.
I've not started yet. I'm waiting for it all to be out.
Then I won't waste it for you.
I'm waiting for it all to come out, except a little bit of Jason Isaac's penis.
You better get on it because it's.
I've already seen Steve
First
Zahn's
of all,
balls.
the first 4 episodes are just fluff. It's like there's nothing.
Yeah.
But then it goes from 0 to 100 miles an hour.
Kind of like it does.
Yeah.
Does Jennifer Coolidge pop back up and tell everybody that the gays are trying to murder her?
Not yet.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
Okay.
Not yet personally.
Okay.
Ooh. It's foreshadowing.
What if it'll be like Paul Rudd and Only Murders?
But yes, we had some brunch.
Oh, it was brunch-tastic.
There was a picture. There's proof of it.
There were people in public. Yeah, we are all out.
There were good-looking people there too,
Sexy.
and us,
and us. Yeah,
and you.
And, well, I mean,
and
like me, and yeah, and we.
But all the other people are
they're
pretty
like
good-looking.
way better looking than we are.
Yeah,
can I
especially
say?
For a Sunday.
Yeah, for a Sunday morning, and then oh god, I made the mistake of going to Costco after that. My person was like, no cart. We have a plan. You're filling your hands. Just throw elbows. Get to the front of the line.
Holy shit. That is...
We fucking had
no cart at Costco.
Cart, like, just got the things we went for. Threw a couple fucking elbows.
That's a game show.
Dude had a guy like, we like walked it.
Welcome to No Cart at Costco.
No cart at Costco. Yeah. It was... And so, yeah, we made it in and out in 6 minutes.
Wow.
Fucking impressive. Nailed it.
That is impressive.
And of course, we were going to go to the one that was more the business oriented one, but we were headed the other direction. We're like, fuck it, we'll just go to the one over there, and and
no samples.
So no samples. I mean, we've got a pretty.
You couldn't if it was 6 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we were already full of breakfast burrito, chocolate chip pancakes. So
true.
But like made it in and out, and like to the point that. Yeah, we went to the suburbs one too, so it was a fucking zoo. It was just mindless chaos. Every time I'm in Costco, I think of the movie Idiocracy, where there's a guy at the front door that says, "Welcome to Costco, I love you." Welcome to Costco, I love you. And there's a fucking like train, and that's where the time machine is. Anyway,
I went and I passed out from the potatoes.
Oh, so many delicious potatoes.
I can't imagine doing anything else that day.
Yeah, we did we ran a bunch of fucking errands and did all the stuff, and it was just
good for you.
Lots of and then we we were grumpy because we don't eat a lot of let's just say that type of tortilla in this house. So
no,
and I
don't either. I don't eat out that much.
Like, give me all...
And I'm like, God, what do they put in this?
Yeah, like we were ready for a nap. Yeah, exactly. Would you like all this lard? I would.
Well, yeah, and I went home and they were trying to figure out, well, what are we going to do for dinner? I'm like, I don't know, nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to have a salad. Contrary to popular opinion, there was no second location on this brunch. I heard the rumors that there were normally a second location.
I think they were feeling you out a little bit.
I don't need a second location. I do not require, and I don't think you are a second locationer either.
I'm fully on John Mulaney's side on that. There will be no secondary location for me. And it took me a while with this group of people, with our brunch club, that we like because sometimes it's like, if the Bloody Marys are flowing or the Micheladas are flowing or the mimosas are flowing or whatever, then it's like, I think it works a lot better when it's much sunnier out.
Yeah,
it's still cool.
Patio type.
Yeah, but when it's like, let's go patio hopping, I'm like, no. The other thing is like some of the women that come on this, they're all dressed up cute and everything. I have on a version of black shirt, jeans,
the Rockstar uniform.
whatever.
Yeah, of course you do.
I always look like a roadie. So
Stage blacks, baby.
I don't really care whether or not we go somewhere else. I don't need to be seen.
Yeah, that's not why I'm out.
But I'm not saying they need to be seen, but they probably could be.
They do dress quite.
They're wearing chunky jewelry and fun shirts and stuff.
Yeah, and a hand knitted purse that was lovely.
I will say that one of the things is that some dog owners in the group, they have to get home to walk their dog, and that has limited the secondary location thing. However, what it has done is upped my involvement in walking the goddamn dog.
Oh, no.
So then I get like a text at 1 or 2 o'clock, and I'm like fully passed out on my Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, we're going to another place. Can you walk the dog? And I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have a dog.
Yeah,
why do I have to walk your dog?
Left on red.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, but hey, when you're at a patio, take your dog with you.
Yeah.
Don't take your dog with you.
Don't take.
I don't like that either.
My dog. As long as your dog's cool and hangs out on the patio, I don't give a shit. That's cool.
The other cool thing is that the house brunches are great.
Oh yeah,
those are more leisurely outside, and there's little wading pools that happen in that situation.
I'm not engaging with people I don't want to engage with. That's always a plus for me.
It's very nice.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think we're going to do a little bit more of that. Plus inflation and all that, tariffs, you know.
What?
But I mean, that restaurant was actually a pretty good price.
It was good. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. One of my buddies who didn't want to come was like, he was pissed off that we were paying so much for Mexican food. And I'm like, it's really not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's a lot. Okay, so if you're listening, it was like $12 for a huge breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. If you're of a certain age, you're like, oh my God, that's a lot. But today's value, no, it isn't.
It's not.
That's
bad average.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's $12 for a beer at a show.
Yeah.
You know, so like it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would do that place again. And plus, it was a classic restaurant in Denver called the Breakfast King, if you know of it.
Rest in peace.
That has now changed ownership to something else, and clearly no one knows it yet. Because we were there hot on a Sunday at like 11 o'clock, and it was pick of booth.
Yeah.
And that would have never fucking happened.
Yeah. It was, and it was delightfully still the same color.
Oh, everything's the same except for the menu.
Except for the menu. It's like you walk. Do you remember walking in there at like 2 a.m. after playing down the street at
Herman's
Coco Bongo or whatever the fuck it's called now? Man, did I just lob a grenade in the middle of the room? I did.
Fucking Coco Bongo.
Anyway, and we go to the Breakfast King, and it was like the brightest lights possible. It was a diner of the highest regard. Yellow tables, orange, plastic seated booths. It squeaked.
Those were also pre-Uber days, and we probably shouldn't have been driving.
You could kind of walk.
It's only 8 blocks.
You could walk from Herman's, yeah. But yeah, you were walking through an area that you didn't want to walk through. Anyway,
no.
But yeah, it was fun to
go on over to the Paper Tiger.
Yeah.
You guys
oh my God, the fucking Paper Tiger! Yes,
shout out if you went to the Paper Tiger. Please,
I think I went
please
there
get on us on social media at 2ShotsMusicPod.
24 hours.
If you were a dancer, send us a picture. Hold on, Bill. Do not send us a picture.
Yeah. Please do not send us that picture, Bill. That's a good reminiscence.
All right, let's get on to a little music. Biz Bits.
Oh, no.
It's everybody. Bum. All right, this is interesting. UK's doing a lot of good shit around music, and so I'm going to continue to bring it up. Hopefully it's working in the US. Yeah. But the Competition and Markets Authority, the CMA, as it were, they said for the first time that it would back a ceiling on secondary market ticket prices.
Oh.
So in the U.S., you can think of Viagogo, StubHub, Game Time. These are your secondary ticket markets, right? This would put a cap on how much they could sell them for. There's some movement in the United States to do the same.
Yes.
But it would I think it's going to be a percentage cap, like 10 or 15% above market value. So if that concert ticket was $125, maybe it can only be sold for $150, which that would put a big dent in the secondary ticket market.
Oh.
That would be a very big move. Also, pursuant to that previous story, StubHub is going IPO.
Oh my.
So we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But they're doing their little road show, and the IPO is planned. And if you know anything about that, it's probably a month or two out.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
StubHub makes a fuckload of money. And it's not just concerts, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a lot of sporting events
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. Also, speaking of ripoffs, Kiss. Remember how Kiss retired? Yeah, that's right. Remember how on this podcast we told you no, they didn't. Remember how we said they absolutely will do another show, and we had people that told us no, that's bullshit. It's totally retired. No more tours, no more tears. Just like Ozzy. I don't believe it. I never did. And then Gene tried to launch his own tour.
He did.
All over the United States.
My person was going to open
booked it out.
one of their shows. One of
That's
his shows,
right.
yeah.
At a 2,000 venue, not a huge venue, not an arena.
Then they
offered a $12,395 a day.
By the way, I showed that to the lady of the manor, and she said, "Oh, that's nice. He's going to pay you $12,000 to be his roadie for the day." I'm like, "No, you're going to pay him."
Gene.
I'm like, "That is the most Gene Simmons thing I've ever heard in my life."
Okay, I know a lot of people heard about this on TikTok and all this. So this whole thing was a roadie package. Like, be a roadie for Gene Simmons on this tour, and you pay $12,000 some odd dollars to do it. Okay, not for a charity, not for just pay it. I actually got like a press release thing about that.
Yeah.
Because of the music journalism thing. But I got a press release thing about that, and I didn't know this before. And we talked about it on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And I know your person was mentioning it too. In the press release, I did not know this, but I went back and looked at the press release because you guys, that Gene Simmons tour is canceled.
Yeah.
It's completely undersold.
Yeah.
They were selling in some areas 10% or less of their arena out. Oh my God, it was horrible. Horrific.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost money
Katy
on
Perry
that. But
numbers.
anyway, in the press release, that $12,000, it actually stipulated you cannot pay it in crypto. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Like someone would try to unload some fucking shit coin on Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
There's probably a Kiss coin somewhere.
There is a
I'll
Kiss
give you your $12,000 back.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. You did get a bass guitar, though, didn't you? Or you got a guitar? You did have
a guitar.
Yeah, you got it's like it's not a Hofner. It was a Honer or an Araya Pro 2.
It was like getting a Rotex watch.
A Rotex. Yeah. They canceled the whole tour, and then 2 days later.
Well, now he's got a little bit of time on his hands. And so the Kiss Army storms Vegas event, which is in November. It's rumored that Kiss is going to do an unmasked show there at Virgin Hotels in Las Vegas.
You can't see, but I've got my face in my
they'll never
palm.
play again, and they sold the intellectual rights and the property to another VC company to work with them to like start putting out holograms and a Kiss hologram tour. I've seen it thrown around all over the place. They wanted to do this Kiss hologram tour with all of the members. So it would be the original members from the 70s and the 80s, I guess. Yeah. And then it would go into, the Bruce Kulick, like it'd go through Eric Carr, all of them.
Yeah.
And they would the holograms would start changing during the songs.
Oh, wow.
So when it got to Tears Are Falling and, and Heaven's on Fire, it would be unmasked. And then, I was like, this is a fucking nightmare. Who would buy that show?
Yeah.
I mean, do it for TV or something, I guess, but like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
They wanted to do a tour with all holograms.
Yeah.
And it would be obviously tracks. Like, I don't think they would go in and record it live.
It's interesting. Well, I mean, you could always just have, the live tracks that Eddie Kramer just, enhanced. Yeah. Shall we say?
You could have Mini Kiss play it, I guess. and then they wanted to do basically a residency of this. I know that was pitched for Vegas at the MGM Park, which they promptly said, we're good.
Yeah, no thanks.
We have real Lenny Kravitz and real whatever. Yeah. We've got real stuff.
Here's my question Number one, I think that a band like Kiss.
What questions do you have, Stu?
Series of questions. I think a band like Kiss and Ghost and Rammstein. Well, not so much Rammstein anymore because they're not wearing their. But Slipknot even, where the band has like you can't see their faces. If I didn't know and the dude up there sounds like fucking Paul Stanley, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? To a certain
ICP.
extent. I see the Star Child. That's what I want. And so, like, I love this idea of, like, you know, Kiss could theoretically go on forever. And Gene could sit and twiddle his butthole at home or have Shannon twiddle his butthole if they're still together. I believe they are.
I believe they are. Maybe not after this.
Yeah, like, bad decision, G-Money. No, I kind of love the idea of, like, keeping it a mystery. Like, that's why I think Unmasked was a big fucking mistake in the first place. Keep the mystery and let me enjoy. Like what's it? Lemmy said, I don't want to see the fucking accountant next door. I want to see a space alien from Mars on stage.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, like, if you'd kept that, you could have done all this kind of stuff. If I didn't know that Gene Simmons, but the fact that the ego got in the way of the business plan, there's where the fucking problem lies.
I mean, they had to do it by that point. It had been like 15 years. This is like Ross and Rachel. Like, at some point, you got to fuck.
That's just, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sometimes they're going to fuck.
I mean, the end is near. We're going to end.
Yeah.
But,
you
know, blow out the last
just
2 years.
Clone them.
They went on for quite a while after that. So
yeah, that's fine. Anyway, I just love the.
I don't know. Kiss is just a singular. I don't know what the hell. It's so funny that it's like one of the only bands that you have to say, you know what? I respect their marketing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, like, you don't talk about the music much.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite Kiss songs.
I mean, guitarists do, but.
No,
like,
but even, like, Ace is nothing. I mean, Ace is great, but he's not. He's the thing that got people into playing guitar was the persona of the spaceman, not necessarily. And it was all cool and theatrical, and, like, his fucking guitar went up to the rafters and exploded. Yeah. You know? Same thing with the
Yeah, but like David Bowie did the same thing, and no one really talked. I mean, it's part of the story, but you're like, no, that music actually changed.
Yeah,
me.
Exactly.
You know, like you can do both.
Yeah, but Bowie was also very experimental and pushed boundaries, and Kiss really didn't until they made a disco record.
Yeah, they did. I mean, but they did.
They did not push any boundaries. There was nothing.
I was made for loving.
They were a trend follower band. Like they were like Madonna to a certain extent. Except Madonna, I think, was more on the front of a wave. Usually, she would be able to, except for recently, be able to kind of follow what was happening or do something that was, you know, relevant at the time. I think Kiss was like great at being present in their current musical place, but they weren't changing music. Bowie changed music.
Absolutely.
So,
okay, I didn't want to get you stuck
I know.
on Bowie.
I'm arguing. Okay, moving on. Next, music biz bit.
All right, moving on. Last piece of news here is, remember that Lizzo lawsuit?
I was wondering about this the other day.
Well, it's still going on. There was another lawsuit that came out with the makeup artist that she got dropped out of. It's kind of a technical thing. Her company is still involved in it. But the dancers are requesting a jury trial.
Oh, wow.
Lizzo is requesting it be dropped.
Yeah.
However, news just dropped, like today, basically, that Lizzo will play the trailblazing musician Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Cool.
In the upcoming biopic, Rosetta, which will be coming out on Amazon MGM Studios.
Yeah.
So, deal is inked. They're going to be going into production. When you get one of these kind of press releases, that means they're already going.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so what that tells you is that it has passed business affairs at Amazon.
Yeah.
There's no way that they put $30 million into a movie about Sister Rosetta Tharpe starring Lizzo if they think she's going to lose that lawsuit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that means.
Yeah.
So
wow.
I'm interested to see the biopic.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see more about. I hope everybody finds out more about Rosetta Tharpe.
Yeah, yeah. What a fucking legend, you know. And yeah, brilliant musician.
Yeah, brilliant musician, trailblazer, and not enough people know about.
Yeah.
Big black woman that changed the fucking game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And 40s and 50s we're talking about. Played a mean guitar.
That SG.
Also dirty music.
Yeah.
So it works with Lizzo.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, fucking
because Lizzo a freak.
Fantastic. I'm excited to see that. I am too.
I mean, it won't be till next year probably, but But it did, just so you kind of understand how music press works. If this is coming out, that means that their lawyers have been involved in beforehand. Like, hey, should we sign her to this?
Yeah.
This is, you don't take that big of a chance if you think the lawsuit's gonna
kill her. Land it. Yeah.
So there you go.
Fantastic.
All right, a lot of music news going on. Hey, everybody, let's get to Turn You On.
I'm gonna turn you on.
Hey, Stu and I listened to 2 songs this week that we would like you to listen to, a new one and an older one. And we're going to tell you what we liked about them and hopefully convince you to listen to them. Stu's been the picker this week.
I picked this week. I've been kind of... sometimes finding new music for me, if I'm in studio time and I'm not listening to a lot of stuff that's, like I don't get the time to listen. So a bunch of them are, this one, but this one was one I worked on. Just full disclaimer, but these are younger musician people. They're all, I believe they're all sub 21 still. They just started college, and I've been working with them for a couple of years, And one of the things I love is I'm the fifth Beatle to a certain extent, and but I also they just come in and do their thing, and they're opinionated. They know what they fucking want, and they just fucking do it, right? And it's kind of a punk thing. There's a band called Blurr'd Radio. Technically, there's no E. And it's BLURR''D radio, but you'll find them on the streamers with the word Blurr'd radio. The song's called Too Far Gone. It is a 2-minute or something like that slapping punk little thing. And their drummer, Will, is the one that actually is the lead vocal. I had him do a bunch of gang vocals all over it and stuff like that. But a lot of that kind of atonal, yelly kind of shit. And I love the energy that's in this band. That's the thing I love about it. It's just super energetic, catchy, and it's a cave person song. It is.
Yeah.
I really like. I think I did a good job on the mix, but those guys really know what they want, and they're doing some shows. They've been playing a bunch of local shows. Jude, Jackson, Nick, and Will. They're fucking great. Blurr'd Radio. I do recommend you check them out. They've got a couple. We've done a couple 9 singles over the last few years, and they're not really in a release campaign, even though we've had the conversations, of the stuff. But they're still out playing the shows, getting their dick wet, and things. And it was really fun. I enjoyed it. What did you think of this creation?
Yeah, I like it. Catchy as fuck. Punk song. Young.
Yeah.
Brash. What it should be. Nice gang vocals, which I dig. Nice recording compared to the others. I didn't know you did the others. So you've gotten better too.
Yeah.
But especially on this one, it seems maybe there's just more time on this one.
Bit.
There's more guitar separation. The vocals kind of sit where they should for this kind of song.
Yeah.
I like them a little bit more further up, but for this kind of song, they're sitting perfect right there. You kind of got to dig in with your ear to the vocals, but it's great. I really like it. And young and brash and what it should be.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. And I will make a note here, and we're going to, we'll obviously post a link to the video of the song and also show their IG. But their IG is BLURRD Radio.
Yeah.
So that's important because they apparently picked a band name that is one of the most popular podcasts in the world called Blurr'd Radio.
Shit.
And so you will find Blurr'd Radio everywhere on Google.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
that explains it.
Picking New Heights as a band song or as a band name.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's how you can separate them out. But who gives a fuck? It's punk. It's cool. And it's young, and I'll be interested to see what they do more.
Yeah.
I like. I'm going to find out more.
It's
about
one of those things where this group of this is I think the first or second song I did with them for this new run. I finally convinced them to let me mic a real amp. So there was that kind of thing. We had some fun. We had a couple days on it. But the other thing is, this is where being a mixer, an engineer, and a producer is an interesting kind of crossing, because I mixed it how I want to mix it. And usually when I mix things, The vocals are pretty far forward. I want to make sure when I get the volume low, it's one of the mixing tricks. I want to be able to hear drums and vocals, and I want to be able to know what's going on, right? And they're like, no, push the vocals back. The vocals we don't like. Yeah. It's one of those things where
the kids don't like it.
The kids don't like it. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So we'll push them back. Keep pushing them back.
It's cringy.
With a J.
I know it is. I get it.
So that's the thing that's happening. And yet I worked with another artist who I would kind of balance it out. Like, okay, like get it to where I like, and I could get it where I could hear everything and in various places at a lower volume and could hear and understand everything. And they'd be like, I can't hear my vocals, turn me up. And the vocals were, to me, way too loud in a mix. Yeah,
like 93.
Yeah, it's very much that. And so it's just like two artists with the different thing. But that's one of the needles you thread when you're doing all those parts. You're like, okay, it's my opinion and what I know works versus what the artist wants. And sometimes what the artist wants,
absolutely,
what the artist wants is they win. They're fight. What do I care? It's not
customers always right. All right, so that is Blurr'd Radio, Too Far Gone.
Too Far
Make sure to check it out.
Too Far Gone.
Too Far Gone.
Yeah, it's fucking great. Shall I regale people?
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
Let's take everyone back. The old song.
Okay, so I picked. I've been using this artist for a lot of reference mixes lately, and he actually had a new record come out end of 23, beginning of 24 that I've been listening to a lot. That was called. Oh shit! Gonna have to look it up because I forgot about that. There he is.
You've been using him for punk mixes?
No, not for this, but like for reference mixes for other things like I've been working on right now. It's a little bit more ambient, but he had I/O. Peter Gabriel came out December 1st of 2023. It is fucking fantastic if you've not heard that record, and it's a record that he released in 23, but he's been basically some of the songs have been written over like 20 something years or something like that since his last record. Or it's not been that long since his last record, but he's been writing and recording stuff, and it's fucking great. But when I have an artist on, the second that I listen to things on Apple Music, not Spotify, because I just Apple Music's what I have all my stuff on with my kid and the lady and stuff like that. So this version, a live version of In Your Eyes from the Secret World Tour came up
by
Peter Gabriel. Sorry, I didn't get there, did I? Shit. Peter Gabriel is my artist of the...
you fucking edger. The old song is Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes, the live version.
From 1994, the Secret World Tour. What a fun, number one, beautiful song. Number two, the build, the energy of the live band. Fucking A, man. It is just... a beautiful thing, and it's long too. That's what she said.
It's over 10 minutes.
It's 10 minutes long. It just like takes its time. Everybody gets their moment to shine, and he's notorious for kind of breaking lady singers like Paula Cole and obviously Kate Bush from the 80s, I don't remember if this one has Paula Cole on it, but this is fucking an amazing song.
Papa Wimba.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Papa Wimba is who's on this, an African artist.
Fantastic. I did not know that. There.
That did some of the tour. Yeah. It's... Okay, so In Your Eyes, the song... Just... okay, if people don't know, this is the song from Say Anything where Lloyd Dobler holds up a boombox in a yard to get his girlfriend back. I will tell you the personal side of this song for me... I did that. Real talk. I actually did that. I am of that age. I did it in the backyard of a girl named Whitney.
Is that a euphemism?
No. And with her parents' permission.
Wow.
But early in the morning, woke her up. I didn't have the trench coat on, but I did stand there with a boombox.
And?
It worked.
Fuck yeah.
It absolutely worked. Yeah, totally worked. It absolutely worked. It was great. Did the whole thing. And I'm not the only one. A lot of guys my age, were like, oh, I'm going to fucking do that.
Yeah.
Because everyone had a boombox. And it was pretty cool. So kids, if you want to do it today, take out your Bluetooth speaker, hold it above your head.
Yeah.
Because I bet it would still
It
work.
still works.
It's a great song, no matter. It's a timeless song.
Making a mixtape, making a mixtape.
That's right.
Making a mixtape.
That's right. But I will tell you that this version specifically made me think about a few things around music from the late 80s and the 90s that I wanted to bring up here, if you don't mind. Do you mind?
No, carry on, sir.
Do we have time?
I don't know.
Do we have time, everyone?
We don't have time for
Let
that.
me check with the producer who's not there.
Yeah,
okay.
Kelsey.
There was a moment in the late 80s and the 90s where a lot of the biggest artists in the world started working with African artists and turned on a lot of U.S. audiences to African sounds. I would say Talking Heads did a little bit of this. They did a little. Brian Eno was a little bit a part of this, where you do like some African rhythms, African sounds. One of the most popular ones was Paul Simon and Graceland.
That's a great record.
Won a big fucking Grammy. Great Grammy. However, a lot of people don't know this. At the time, Graceland was controversial because the artists that he used were part of the South Africa.
Yeah.
And even though it was African music, we were in a big, I ain't gonna play Sun City, South African apartheid, stay away from South Africa, freeze them motherfuckers out.
Yeah.
Paul Simon kind of broke out of that and did it anyway. But most people by that time, a lot of people had kind of moved on from it. And so it's a little bit problematic. A lot of people don't realize that. You can go look it up, but there was an issue with it. But I would also mention that Peter Gabriel started doing this as well, with a lot of like African artists, and then Sting in the early 90s did Desert Rose with an Algerian singer, with Chub Mami. And so that was with Desert Rose. A lot of people don't know this, but Algeria is in fucking Africa. And so a lot of different Africas that we're talking about here, from Peter Gabriel being basically sort of middle Africa. But I found it really interesting to bring this back, that there was a moment there where this was a very world music thing that would eventually turn into a lot more world music being on AAA radio.
Yeah.
So I know that's kind of deep music
industry
I love that
shit,
stuff. But it is kind of it doesn't happen on accident.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I like this version too, because it's so fucking weird how Peter Gabriel has this weird voice that doesn't sound great until he hits a few notes and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like how he can hit a note completely like phlegmed out.
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah.
I get so lost, and like, it's like, wow, clear voice, dude. And then he hits all these notes and you're like, okay, he's a really good singer.
Yeah.
And it's just such and again, we've talked about this on this podcast a lot of times. A recognizable voice is better than the best singer in the world.
It's funny.
And Peter Gabriel definitely has that.
It was funny, after listening to this, I went back and listened to, the Genesis records with him fronting, and
Shock the Monkey.
Yeah. It just, I like Genesis.
Wait a minute, was that a Genesis or was that early Peter Gabriel?
That was early Peter Gabriel.
I'll look.
But The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and all that kind of good stuff, which just, like, again, Peter Gabriel is not in the same band as Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford at that point in time. Like, you listen to it, it's like his stuff is just, I mean, he's brilliant, but it's like, like, I like Genesis better with Peter Gabriel, but I think they wrote better songs with Phil Collins.
Really? Oh my God, that's bold
okay.
take.
Let's take it to Van Halen for a second.
Shock the Monkey.
Van Halen,
is absolutely Peter Gabriel.
Everybody likes David Lee Roth, era, but they wrote better songs with Sammy Hagar. They just did. It's okay.
I'm gonna let it just.
You're
sit
gonna let
there
that,
for a
like,
second.
I'm gonna like get like fucking mugged in public now.
I'm out on the Van Halen argument. I love them both.
I
so I don't
take
care.
myself out of the running. I've done them both.
Yeah, I love them both.
I do too.
I hope everyone has a good time and no one gets hurt.
I hope both teams have fun. Yeah.
And mostly, I hope Alex finds some peace.
Have you seen all the, speaking of,
and Mike gets his fucking flowers.
have you seen the Steve Lukather, Alex Van Halen rumors?
I have, and I know what's going on with him.
Yeah, because Lukather basically said,
Alex,
go ahead.
Alex he's going through the archives of the unreleased shit, and because he and Eddie would get together, especially during like the cancer stuff, they would get together and do like jam sessions. And out of that came a lot of, we heard one of them in the book in Brothers, but out of that, there are, it's my understanding there's at least 300 like almost songs that just are still there. There's a lot of unreleased David Lee Roth stuff that Wolfie has talked about going through. Wolfie, by the way, has the keys to the vault.
Yeah.
And he's down for letting Uncle Al do whatever the hell he wants to do. Well, Al wanted to basically do like an AI thing with the Van Halen stuff and like, clean up those songs and like have some vocals brought in and kind of, I guess, sort of like Free as a Bird, like the Beatles did.
Yeah.
Like there's snippets of shit of singing. There's some that Eddie sang lead on. And there was a whole lot of arguments within the camps about like, I don't think Ed would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like Al has always been for technology and Ed's very analog famously. And so, so Lukather has been brought in to figure out whether or not like the guitar parts are like, if that's what Ed would have been happy with.
Yeah.
That's apparent. That's my understanding is that he's been brought in as the guitar guy that knows Eddie so well of like, do you think Ed would be all right with this being a part? Like this is not just him fucking around, because basically all of us, we just hear anything from Eddie and we're like, yeah, that's great. Let's put it out. And apparently Al is like, well, I want to make sure that we're being true to what Ed would have wanted. And he's not playing.
Yeah.
It's my understanding. He's being more of a consultant on it.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get behind that. And I did see the article, like, of course, in true Luke fashion, he comes out and he goes, I'm not playing a fucking Van Halen song. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So
because that would be rude.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, you cannot do that. I'm sorry. You can't.
It won't be Van Halen.
Anyway.
Like, that's one thing we can't change.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, it's the two things you can't change are Ed and Al.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we just know that now. Like, you just can't change
Well,
that
then
part.
what do you think about Pantera not having an Abbott? Oh, wait. The band was not called Abbott. Everybody.
There you go.
Understood. So.
All right. So the old song is Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes, the live version from Secret World Tour in 1993, released in 94. Check that out on YouTube.
Great. Sorry about the sidebars.
Yeah. And somehow we got to Steve Lukather.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve, great guitarist. Okay.
I have one of his guitars right here.
Yes. Yeah. Steve, Stu has one of your guitars.
Come get it, brother.
Come get it, motherfucker. All right, Sink of
Sink.
the Week.
Oh, dear. It's a whole lot of...
All right. I guess I will be leading off on this one because you talk so much there. Just kidding. It was me again. So I am watching a new show on the old Netflix there. Uh-huh. It's called The Residence. The Residence. 8 episodes on this, and it is in its first season. It's first dropped. All the episodes are out, so you can go watch them right now. It's starring Uzo Aduba, and you will remember her as Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black. Remember that chick?
I do.
Kind of a heavier chick that was like just blew out on the screen. Fantastic actress, and her and Giancarlo Esposito are in it. It's a Shondaland production.
Very nice.
So if you know of all the stuff that she's done, it's about a world-renowned detective called Cordelia Cupp. Oh. And she is a consultant with the Metropolitan Police Department that's in D.C. that solves murders which are unsolvable. Well, there's been an incident in the White House, in the residence of the White House, and she's been brought in to solve the murder. And she is quirky. She's a birder. She goes and looks at her personality is all about looking up birds and stuff.
Fantastic.
So think of Knives Out.
Excellent.
Think of fun detective stuff like Knives Out or Glass Onion or some of the best Hercule Poirot. Think of some of those kind of things. That is the vein that this is in. And it's smart, fast, witty, a lot of fun. A lot of weird jazz music in it, which is really fun. Mark Mothersbaugh is doing a lot of the score on it, dude from Devo.
Oh, nice.
By the way.
That's cool.
I hope this is a whole IP thing. Maybe it's based on books or something. It feels like it is. But I love her in this, and I want to see more. She is fucking fantastic as a lead actress.
Excellent.
She's really, really good. So in season 1, episode 1, I won't give away exactly where this comes in, but Kylie Minogue, Can't Get You Out of My Head is the drop, and it's used 7 times.
Excellent. She deserves
The
it.
music supervisor is Suhail Nafar. It's a fantastic production. Look, it's on the face of it, it's kind of a simple, fun comedy detective kind of thing. Again, if you like Knives Out or those kind of like sort of fun detective things, you're going to love this because it's very fast. There's a lot of throwbacks, a lot of time jumping.
Excellent.
It's nonlinear and it's really, really fun.
Excellent.
So it's called The Residence on Netflix.
Fantastic. Was that jazz defiant jazz, Michael?
It is ersatz.
Ah, defiant. Ersatz.
I would call it ersatz jazz. I would also call it immediate jazz.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Pokey jazz. Anyway, fantastic. Love it. Hated it. I'm curious.
It's the kind as a musician you try to watch the notes in your head.
Yeah.
Whenever I see fast, frenetic jazz is probably the best way to put it. And whenever I hear frenetic jazz, I try to think of what the score looks like.
Yeah.
Even though most of it's probably improvised.
Yeah.
But like I try to think about like, Jesus, that's a 30-second note.
Yeah.
Like that's a whole 30-second run. And I'm like just like trying to look at it on the staff in my head as the sheet music's going by. I'm like, yep, I am not that good of a musician.
Yeah, I remember college.
Yeah.
Everybody look how good
I
I
learned
am.
it. I just wasn't very good at it.
Everybody look how good I am. Okay, that's a delightful pick. I've got to get into that because the lady of the manor is watching that, and I got to catch up.
You should. It's really
Cool.
fun.
Excellent. I'm into it.
Really fun. Also a nice dismount for the evening.
Excellent.
Like it's the kind of thing you can watch and go to sleep after. Unlike Severance.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, excellent. Well, that's a lovely one. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I do the immediate. I've been watching some stuff to decompress at night because I need to give my eyes and my ears a break, and so I've been watching some stuff at night. And so, do I go with Michael? I need an opinion here. Do I go with
I'll flip a coin.
most recent one that like it just came out, very recent came out, or do I go with one that's a few years old and I'm very much enjoying as well?
Okay, I'm going to flip a coin. Here we go. Flip. Oh, it's heads. Most recent one.
Okay, so I watched The Electric State on Netflix, the Russo brothers' vehicle, shall we say, that they manufactured with
Is this a movie?
Christopher Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown, and your friend that you just mentioned, Giancarlo Esposito. It's fun. A lot of voice actors popping up. You're like, hey, I know that guy. Oh fuck, that's Hank Azaria. Like that kind of shit. It's really fun. Don't think too hard. It's silly, and at first, like you're watching, and you're going, "What the fuck am I watching?" And you're like a little bit like, "Did I do I have to sit here for 2 hours of shit?" And eventually, you start just I settled into the world a little bit. It's kind of a revisionist history kind of thing, a little bit.
Okay, all right.
But it's really fun.
Hold on, movie or show?
Movie.
Okay.
Russo brothers movie. So the heroes of the Marvel universe, it's really fun. It's really fun if you can turn your brain off. There's no real stakes in it. It's fun little things there. But there was a drop I was not expecting. Kind of settles you in because it's kind of as I said, it's set in the past, but it's not our past. It's like an alternate universe kind of thing. And so there's some fun little things in there. And the song that kind of established this character plus the timeline was "Mother" by Danzig.
Wow.
And it was the album version. It wasn't the live version, which is the version that I love, but it was the album version. And I just was like, holy fuck. Like, that is a song that this character would be listening to in that time and place. It was fun. And it was like, I'm sitting there and both the lady and the kid are sitting watching it with me, and they're going, what the fuck is this garbage? And I'm like, that's Glenn Danzig and John Christ shredding your faces. You know, his name was John Christ. It's so fucking heavy. Yeah, it was. There was,
and also how Danzig is named
Glenn Danzig. He's got something to say.
All right, everyone. So, DeChambeau, John, you're here. Great. Danzig, Glenn.
Yeah,
you're here. Okay, I see you back there, Prince of Darkness. By the way, that Mother version I wanted to check, and I just did. The live version, I was like, I think that's 93. Yeah. I used to play it in strip clubs. And and it is 93.
Yeah. I used to listen to it all the fucking time. Anyway, it's a fucking great version of that. And this funny, that record still sounds, I can't place why that record's, but it's almost like they basically said, here's 4 tracks, you each get one, fuck off. That's how the song sounds like, you know. It's a really interesting recording. Like, because I was used to, like, you know, Queensryche and fucking, you know, like Metallica and like it's these big kind of bombastic. And Danzig is just fucking raw and dry, and they're going in hard, man. Anyway, this song pops up. That's Keir Lehman as the supervisor on that one. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong guy. Manish Raval is the soup on that one. I read the wrong fucking thing.
Give us a shot, man. Jesus.
Fuck. I'm so sorry. I've got ADHD up the ass today. There's a lot going on around here.
No, not you. He's just soup and everything. Yeah. Give the kids a shot.
Is he like in-house at Netflix at this point and just...
No, he's just a go-to. Like, it just fucking go-to, man.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm not, you know, I'm breaking your balls here. Okay?
It's a game of recognize the voice in the movie. It's really, really fun. The effects are it's really, really well done. As I said, no real stakes. Everybody's a little overly dramatic in it. Chris Pratt is Chris Pratt. And you know, it's fun. It's fun, you know.
I love it. By the way, if you are a strip club DJ right now and you would like to make your dancer a lot of money and they're down for doing some Danzig, here's your set list for the 3-song set list, okay? You ready? Mother.
Yeah.
Song 1. Twist a Cane, number 2.
Oh.
And then when you want to go for the floor show, She Rides. Holy shit, you're going to make a bunch of money. By the way, She Rides is 5 minutes long. You want that floor set to be long, kids. Yeah. Mother's 325. Let her spin around the pole, 325. Fine. Yeah. Now she does some of the more, like the dancing kind of stuff. Twist of Cane's about 418, something like that. Awesome. Yeah. But you wanted just the cool down and everybody, she rides. Let her loose upon the wall.
We can actually get the rights to that one. That's pretty easy to get, actually. Yeah.
Pretty easy. Yeah, you pay $5 to Glenn.
$5. Yeah. It's got kitty litter to buy.
All right. Very nice. Well, Netflix gets all the money this week. Very nice. All right, let's move on to last call. Last call, everybody.
Yeah.
You got any last calls?
I don't have any last calls, except I'd like to... Oh, no, I do have one. I would like to shout out our friend Rocky on his left leg moving after...
That's right. Rocky is moving.
So, yeah, shout out. Keep fucking going, brother.
I would like... My last call goes out to Signal. The app that you can use on your phone that absolutely does not have end-to-end encryption. So if you're using Signal to share war plans with journalists from Washington Post, don't do that. But you can also send me stuff on Signal if you need like a little privacy for your music journalism shit.
I use Signal.
Shout out Signal.
I care.
Available now on the Apple Store.
Yeah. Next to TikTok.
All All right, let's wrap this bitch up. Send us some questions, jokes, comments, release announcements, and we'll shout you out at 2ShotsMusicPod, wherever you get your social media. And you can find all of our back episodes. This is episode number 82. God, holy shit. We've been doing this since 1985, something like that. We've been doing a lot of them. 1985. You can follow us on Spotify. Give us 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts to show everyone that you hate this podcast. Remember, 5 stars means you hate it. And you can follow us at 2ShotsMusicPod for all the fun clips and all that kind of crap. And until we talk to you next time, we love you. You look great, and we hope you write a great song. Have a great week.
Song, and release it correctly, for fuck's sake, would you?
On Monday.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.